Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is going to be food destroyed, yes, intentionally destroyed, Russia, and also Israel. But before we get started, a couple of things on a personal note. First of all, my glasses that I normally use for this broke. I mean, literally broke in the middle into two pieces. And I'm told it's going to take another week for them to get in. And so the only way I can get any kind of a focus is looking through the bottom lens. So if I'm always looking up like this, that's the reason. And the next thing is, yes, we did get a strike on YouTube. It was unintentional. I have appealed, and I'm asking them, trying to say that that was not my intention to break any of their guidelines, and hopefully they will remove the strike. In the meantime, let's get started with one more thing. I didn't get the program posted on time Monday. That was my fault because I forgot to upload it for it to be edited and then posted. So that's totally my fault. So I dropped the ball on one, made the mistake on another one, and hopefully you'll understand on the glasses. So anyway, let's get started. Food is intentionally being destroyed in America. And then we're going to talk about Russia and Israel. According to News Punch, 4 natural gas facilities in the U.S. were destroyed in, quote, freak accidents in the last 2 weeks. Now, you recall we talked about this, that there's at last count, and there's probably more than that now, at last count, there was somewhere around 110 different food facilities, somehow they make food, that have all been destroyed over the last year. Would you like to guess how many people have been arrested? Now, I have not checked it out to see if there was any arrested. 110 different, that would take a lot of time. But my guess is 0. And the reason is I think it's the Molochs. I think they have scalawave. I think they have technology that can set fires, that can destroy birds flying in the air. They can destroy anything in the air, on the ground, under the sea, any place on the globe, anytime they want to. And they don't even know where it's located. They can't seem to stop it. And it's like the perfect weapon. So here we have 4 natural gas facilities now destroyed. So they're destroying our food sources. Now they're destroying our natural gas. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, if we don't pray against this, I believe they're going to start burning the wheat fields, the corn fields. They are going to bring on Revelation chapter 6, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, as they call them. And we're not going to be able to do anything to stop it. That is outside of prayer, which is why I'm encouraging you again to join Fast Gap. And this is for people that want to fast and pray. If you want to do something about this, rather than bite your fingernails, then join Fast Gap. You go to Prophecy Club, scroll to the bottom, and you sign up. Give your email. Now, here's my promise. I never send product offers. I never ask for donations. Here's the way it works. Every Tuesday evening, I will email you directly from me to you. And yes, it has some typos in it from time to time. And I'm saying this is what is going on. And this is the prayer that we're all praying. And it takes typically about 60 seconds, definitely under 2 minutes, to pray the prayer. Then we ask you to fast from Tuesday midnight to Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. I don't care whatever time zone you're in, you fast in whatever that time zone is, okay? But when we pray the same prayer, it gives us more power. Wherever 2 or more agrees touching any one thing, it will be given them. 1 can put 1,000 flight, 2 can put 10,000 flight. And I can quote some more scriptures. But the point is, we can do something about this, but it's not going to be fixed by the government or even the military. We can fix it through prayer. So I think the point's been made here. 4 natural gas facilities all destroyed in freak accidents or events in the last 2 weeks. I don't think it's an accident. I think it's on purpose. They told Benjamin Fulford that we have ruled this planet for thousands of years and we will destroy it rather than give it up. That's what they're doing. And as the white hats, the good guys, try to take back our nation, try to take back the world from these evil people, that's what they'll do. They'll destroy it. They'll use suitcase nukes, scale away, whatever kind of high technology, and I believe they have technology that is far beyond anything we could think or imagine. Now, let's go on to the next point. I guess maybe I should say one more thing. I think that that's the reason God raised up Joseph's Kitchen, so that you can get affordable food. Because most of this long-term storage food, and I have to tell you, you're talking $9,000 or $10,000 to feed one person for 1 year. Did you get that? One person, 1 year. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they can show you how to do it for about $1,000 a person per year. Now, you need to get a machines package, because that's what grinds the wheat berries into flour. Then you put that into a bread machine along with 6 other ingredients, push a button, 2 hours and 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot steaming loaf of whole wheat bread. I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I've been getting emails from people. One guy said, not only do I love the bread, but he said, it's like my body is kind of craving it. And I emailed back and I said, yes, I've noticed that with me too. There's been times where even in the evening, I've eaten a full meal. I'm not hungry, but it's like, I got to have another loaf of bread. Another slice of bread. I have to have some bread anyways. Matter of fact, since I'm on the topic, I'll tell you one more thing. Now, let me just say legally, I cannot say that bread lowers your blood pressure or lowers your cholesterol. I don't know that I would ever have a way to be able to say that, but I will say this. I've been eating bread now for about a year, and my cardiologist and also my general practitioner both do not know, nor do I know, why my blood pressure has gone down to normal. 120/80, we can't explain it. And also my GP has told me to cut my cholesterol pills in half. She said, your cholesterol is low. I said, no. I mean, I know it's always high. It's a hereditary thing. It's always high. No. It's low. I says, low? Right here. Is this your name? Is your date of birth? Yes. Didn't we just take blood from you a week ago? Yes. Didn't you have low cholesterol? Cut your pill in half. And the only thing I can see that's changed in my diet, that changed in my life anyway, is bread. And what I think is happening, again, I'm not an expert, can't guarantee this. I think that it's my body is saying, I don't care if you ate normal meals. I still need bread, because there's some things in bread, in that wheat, that I need if you're going to get fixed. And I feel better. I run better in racquetball. I play better. I'm more strong. Go to josephskitchen.com. Get yourself a machines package, and then you order how much food you want. And I'd suggest you get at least a year's worth. And you probably want to get some extra for all of your family around. There's one more thing. I said that I suspected the poison that they're going to put in the water is venom. That's wrong. I also said that Berkey can filter out snake venom. That's wrong. We just talked to the Berkey people. They said, no, it can. That's a whole other thing, whole other ball of wax. And the Berkey does not filter out snake venom. Now, here's something else I can't prove. I got another email that said, but I'm an expert on this, and I didn't look it up, and I'm not quoting it or anything. But he says, I can tell you that snake venom, if it is ingested, passes through the human body without bothering you at all. Only time it's a problem if it gets into the bloodstream. So, hope that answers that question and clears some things up. Okay, now let's go on. A lot of talk today. Let's get on. I've got a lot of stuff to cover here. Okay, so this is an interactive map. Somebody just emailed me this morning of all of the food processing plants that have all been destroyed. This is just in America. And sad to say, there's about 4 times more of them around the world. In other words, they're not just attacking America, they're shutting down the whole food processing plants around the world. So there's somewhere around 110 of them being shut down just in America. But around the world, it's shocking. I mean, we are about to enter the tribulation. I don't know if it's this year, but I don't think we have too many more years. Headline from HalTurnerRadioShow.com. Embassy all Americans should leave Ukraine immediately. U.S. nuclear bombs being moved. Gazprom declares force majeure. This is a long article, and I'm kind of shortened it up to say just the primary parts. Okay, so why would America tell all of the Americans that they need to leave Ukraine? Obviously, they're suspecting war. It goes on to say Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed Kiev is refusing to negotiate at all with Russia. It gets worse. Ukraine plans to use HIMARS MLRS to attack Crimea. Now, as you know, Crimea now is Russian territory, and Russia has previously stated that if U.S. long-range weapons are used against any Russian territory, Crimea, that Russia will declare the U.S. an active combatant and will take military action. Didn't they just say there's about to be a war between America and Russia? Didn't they just say that? They did just say that. Ukraine plans to use HIMARS, those are American weapons, on Crimea. Crimea is now Russia. Russia just said, if you use your weapons on us, we will attack you. In so many words, that's what they just said. It goes on to say the U.S. says that Crimea is a Ukrainian territory, and so the Ukrainians can use HIMARS against it. So the question is, are we really, my opinion, we need to back out of that and let Russia do the cleaning up of all of the pedophile networks over there and all of the filth. Now, I'm not saying everybody in Ukraine is filthy dirty. I don't know. I've never been to Ukraine and probably won't go. But this is the reports that I hear. He goes on to say, if something like this happens, Judgment Day will happen to all of them. Then it says force majeure. Okay, so I had to look up. I want to make certain I understand exactly what force majeure is. It means then you are forced to do something, possibly against your will, but you have no other choice. So it says, this morning, Russian energy giant Gazprom declared force majeure on gas supplies to at least one major EU customer, retroactive back to June. In other words, we cannot supply you natural gas anyway. There's no way we can do it. The letter makes clear that Gazprom cannot supply any natural gas via the Nord Stream 1 pipeline until further notice. He goes on to say they do not expect it to resume. Okay, so what they're basically saying is most of the supply of natural gas to all of Europe is about to be cut off, and it's not coming back on. So what does this mean? Without the flow of Russian natural gas, Germany and other European nations had to begin drawdown on stored natural gas reserves in the countries as of July the 11th, meaning they're pulling it out of their reserves. Those reserves, however, are finite and will run out. What does that mean? Well, none of them have more than a few months' worth of natural gas stored. And when that happens, the economy starts shutting down. That means no electricity, and that means no fertilizer. It means basically the whole economy starts shutting down. Our economies of the world are built upon crude oil, which, by the way, is not biotic. It didn't come from pre-flood plants and animals. It is abiotic. It's formed deep down in the earth, so deep that mankind has never drilled and can't drill that deep. They estimate it to be about 25 miles down, and it is formed by whatever's down there and the rotation of the earth, and it is a byproduct of the rotation of the earth, and it is continually formed. I'll skip on that. Let's go on. It goes on to say, so right now, July the 18th, many differing issues are all coming out to a head all at the same time. Boy, that is true. We're seeing the 18-wheelers being shut down, our food supplies being turned off. We're seeing all kinds of problems. Shipments not moving through the 18-wheelers, through the shipping containers. All this problem is happening right now. Why? Because we're attacking, the good guys are trying to remove the Molochs, and the Molochs say, no, you're not going to do it. We're in control of this world, and we're going to destroy it rather than give it up. So they're in the process of destroying it. Many differing issues are all coming to a head at the same time. If Ukraine attacks Crimea, using the U.S.-supplied HIMARS, then Russia may declare that U.S. is an active combatant and use military force against the U.S. What we're looking at is the starting of World War III coming to the United States. Now, as I said, I believe World War III started 2/22 of 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine, and I believe it will not stop until Jesus returns at Armageddon. Go read Ezekiel 38 and 39. It talks about Armageddon, and the Russia's is right there. So it says, if Russia refuses to restore natural gas flows to Europe, then Europe will run out of natural gas and its economy will grind to a stop. If Europe's economy stops, about 2 weeks later, U.S. economy stops. What did the prophecy say? Basically, the economy in the U.S. stops. These are things that cause nations to go to physical fighting, bullet bomb war. Further in the article, it says, U.S. nuclear bombs under deployment order. I can now report the following from intel sources. The B-61-12 mini nuclear bombs, or made in America, for a, quote, first strike, are coming soon to Italy, Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. Okay, so let me put it this way. If two guys are on the school ground and their knuckles are all white because their fists are all doubled up, you know there's going to be two people fighting. But if there's another guy that is handing rocks to one guy and he's saying, well, I'm not throwing the rocks, and the other fella can say, yeah, but you're handing the rocks to the guy to throw, so you're involved in the fight. Okay, it's kind of like if a person pulls up to rob a bank and the guy goes in and there's one sitting in the car, and then the fella comes out from robbing the bank, jumps in the car, and the two men speed off, the law calls that both of them are guilty because one of them drove the car. America should know that. I believe America does know that. But see, the way the Molochs are trying to destroy America is we're trying to get Russia to take us out by attacking them, because the Molochs are in charge right now. So they get us to go and attack Russia, and then Russia in retaliatory strike takes out America, destroys America. They get the enemy or our enemy to destroy us because they're this invisible whatever behind the curtains that's really bringing it on. But the real problem is the Moloch of Baal worshippers. Europe is being turned by the U.S. into a front line of nuclear confrontation with Russia. The production of the B-61-12 atomic bomb has begun at National Sandia Laboratories. He says, my intel sources tell me that those bombs will be deployed almost immediately to Europe. So it's the case of us handing rocks for somebody else to throw at them, to throw at Russia. So yeah, we are involved. We are attacking Russia. Let me make that point again. We are attacking Russia. We are involved. So when the Russians attack us in a surprise nuclear attack all across America, just like was told Dmitry Duduman, we can't sit there and say, oh, we didn't do anything about it. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did attack them first. Headline, Russia announces civilian drills for nuclear attack. What would be the signs that Russia thinks that she's about to go to war? Wouldn't that be it? If Russia holds, now they've had them in the past, but they're having them again, but it's more prevalent. Listen, complete with outdoor sirens, TV and radio interruption warnings, instructing citizens to proceed to nuclear attack shelters. Citizens are also being advised to have an evacuation bag with some clothing, medicines, and to go to josephskitchen.com. Oh, no, it doesn't say that. But the point is, if Russia is telling Russian citizens that they should be prepared, what do you think us Americans should do? We should get prepared too. They're saying you should have an evacuation bag, or we call it a bug-out bag, with some clothing, medicines. You need to make certain that you have all your medicines. I just had to order some medicines. I said, send me all I can. All I can. I want to get all of them in advance. Of course, these days they won't give you much in advance, but whatever I can get in advance, I want to get them in advance. Clothing, medicines, money, ID, hygiene products in it, so they can grab and go, a grab bag. More covert intel. NATO Plan. It goes on. I'm going to skip a lot of this. It says that thousands of actual NATO troops from the U.S. and the UK are actually secretly, if you want to read all of the details, are actually planning on being involved in this war. It will be U.S. and UK troops driving the vehicles and operating the heavy weapon systems, and Russia knows that they're doing it. So what's really happening is we are attacking Russia. We're doing it through somebody else's hands. We're just handing them the rocks. We're handing them the missiles, but it's still by us behind it. NATO thinks if they can sneak into Ukraine under the cover of, quote, returning Ukrainians with NATO vehicles and weapons, it will prevent detection by Russia, and before Russia is aware, voila, Ukraine will have thousands of NATO troops and equipment right on the front line. But Russia already knows the plan. They're already going to allow as many NATO troops as possible to infiltrate into position, and then Russia will strike and move quickly to form the first NATO/U.S. cauldron of World War III, trapping thousands of NATO or American troops and killing them in a Russian cauldron. They're saying that this is allegedly supposed to launch on or before August 10th. Remember that lady that sent me that email that says she had, if I can get this right here, I have so many coming to me. I believe she was the one that said she heard it like a trumpet, that your world will change and not be the same by August the 6th. So when I see something on or about the same time, I wonder. I mean, is something really, really bad coming that fast? I hope not, but maybe so. Here's about Israel. Harbinger's Daily, July 14th. Biden to become the first president to challenge Israeli sovereignty by visiting East Jerusalem. Now, we've talked about this. We talked about that if America splits Israel, God is going to split America. It goes on to say Joe Biden's plan is to become the first U.S. president to visit East Jerusalem will be a sign of continued support for the Palestinian Authority. Well, he openly says he is for a two-state solution, which means he is openly for splitting Israel, and the new prime minister there is also openly open to splitting Israel. It says Palestinians see East Jerusalem as the capital of a future independent state. Israel considered the whole of Jerusalem, including the East, which it occupied in the 1967 Middle East War, as its indivisible capital, which we agree with. They argued, underscoring that region falls under Israeli sovereignty, undivided, and is recognized as such by the U.S. Congress. So what we see is things are stepping closer and closer to America forcing Israel to give the Palestinians a state. America forcing Israel to split God's land. If we split God's land, it's over for America, my brothers and sisters. It's over for America. The Prophecy Club app is probably the simplest, easiest way to follow Prophecy Club that there is. If you want to get it, I'll explain how it works. Go to prophecyclub.com, and then if you're Apple, you click right here. If you're Android, you click right here, and this is what you'll see. If you're Android, it will look like this, and you download. You want to look for this symbol here. Download that and click install. If you're Apple, you click and it'll look like this. Then after you download the app, it will look like this. So here's the way you do it. Remember, you're going to download something that looks like this. So if you want to look at, say, 1 month, you click here. A past month or a past month, and downloads all of the apps or all of the programs. You click on one, it starts playing. You can either watch it or listen to it, your choice, either one. And if you get a phone call or something interrupts you, it pauses, and then after the phone call, it'll start again. Now, I'm talking about this too. So again, I'm not going down a lot of detail today. But if you go to this place here and you search Watch the Water, this guy's going to tell you in about 45 minutes, very interesting interview, that he knows for a fact that they have already begun to put poison in the water. Now, if you want to get it, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so it says currently all bird keys are in stock. Yeah, they were 3 days ago. So when I put this out, we have 4 different models. 2 of the 4 models sold out overnight. So I just talked to our office. Here's what we have in stock now. All of these gone. Okay. Now you see, 3 or 4 days ago, I could say they're all in stock, and we had a good supply. Right now, this is our actual inventory as of a few minutes ago. We have 16 big Berkeys, 23 Royal Berkeys in stock. And I asked Jo, she'd been with us since Prophecy Club started. I said, so based upon what's happening, how long do you think that those will last? She says, about 2 weeks. We'll be gone. We'll be out in 2 weeks. I said, have you ordered more? And she said, no, we looked and we don't have enough money to order anymore. but Monday, we think we'll have more money in, and we're going to order some more. So if you want to help your brothers and sisters, and if you could help Prophecy Club, now would be a good time. If you can help. If you could help us with a donation, that'd be a really good time, because we need it. Anyway, 16 bigs, 23 Royals in stock. She says they'll last about 2 weeks, but Monday we're going to place another order, another large order. But I don't know what's going to happen. They're going really fast. I'm also told to tell you that there are no fluoride filters going to be had for about 4 months. They're just, you're not going to be able to get them. And if you're thinking about getting gold or silver, we're going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Tell them your Prophecy Club. Hey, love Prophecy Club people because they're informed. Which is why I'd recommend you go to josephskitchen.com. And the little bit difference here. One is you want to get a machine package. I've talked about that before. That's what grinds your wheat berries into flour, put it into a flour bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, along with 6 other ingredients, and you have a loaf of bread. Wonderful hot loaf of bread. Then you decide how much food you want to have. You want to have food for 2 people a year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. But here's the new part. We just started offering this. We've had a lot of people say, yeah, well, what happens when the electricity goes off? So I searched all kinds of different remedies. What do you do when your electricity goes off? I mean, I spent many days researching it. And it seemed like I had somebody email me, hey, this right here is real. Yeah, but they're out of them. Okay. The people got to have them. Okay. So you can say, well, there's a really good one over here, but if they're out of stock, they're out of stock. Okay. We're not going to help us. So here's what I found. I really like this little unit. I've got it sitting right here. I could reach over and, yeah, I will. Here in a week or so, we're going to get another new unit, and I'm going to show you how it all works. But I've got this. I've tested it. I mean, I've actually had this laying on my lawn. I've hooked my electricity, my computer. This computer has been hooked up to it. My bread machine. Here's what I found. Now, so I'm going to start with the bad news, because I figure if I'll tell you the bad news, then you know the rest of it is all good news. And the bad news is this. Since this little generator is powered by the sun, if you have a totally cloudy day and the sun is not out at all, then it is not going to power your refrigerator, and you will get a warm refrigerator. It is not strong enough to do that. Now, here in a few weeks, we plan to offer another one that is going to be strong enough to power it even in such a situation. However, it's going to cost over twice the price of this little rascal. Right now, this is probably the best deal going out there. I'm talking about somebody that has them in stock so that they can get them out to you. Now, what we're doing, to let you know, we're going to do this for about another week. We're going to see how many orders come in, and then based upon how many orders come in, then we're going to place our first large order. And I'm guessing that first large order will be 40 or 50 of them. But we will see. We'll see how many you order. You order a lot of these, and we'll get them. And we can get them in 3 to 5 days. So at least that's what we're told. Now, let me explain it. So this is the unit. Now, think of this as just a battery, okay? But it's not just any battery. There's 3 kinds of batteries. Lead acid, like you put in your car, that's garbage for what we're talking about. Lithium, like is in your cell phone, that's still garbage, because a lithium only has about 500 cycles. That means when you charge it up, you run it down, charge it, and don't run it below 20%, or you'll kill the lithium. So lithium is not good for this. This is what they call an iron phosphate battery. And this particular one has about 2,500 cycles. 2,500 cycles. And it can go to 0, though we don't recommend you take it to 0. No battery likes to go to 0. You can charge it all the way, or you can discharge it all the way down to 20%, and then between 20 to 80%, it charges back up pretty quickly. From 80 up to 100, it takes a long time to charge, so we don't recommend you, unless you have just plenty of time and plenty of energy to do that. So anyway, it has 4 220-watt solar panels, and it has 1,800 continuous watts. The reason that's important is because that little mill that grinds the wheat berries into flour takes about 1,450. So we didn't want to get it too close. We want to have we don't want to get it right too close to the ceiling. So it needs to have 1,800 watts. This does. It also has a 1,488 watt-hour storage. What does that mean? Well, my refrigerator out here uses about 3,000 watts to run for 24 hours. So that's the reason I'm telling you this is not powerful enough by itself to power a refrigerator for 24 hours. It would need to be at least 3,000 watt hours. However, to jump up to that, based upon my calculations and what I've seen here, it's not worth the price. I'll show you a better way to do it. So here's what they try to sell you. They try to sell you a big storage, but they only give you 2 little 100-watt solar panels. That's not enough. Then some of them will even, of course, that's only 600 hours or 600 watts. But what we do is instead we offer, our program is we put together 4 220-watt solar panels, 4 of them, because you don't get any power out of the battery unless you put it in with the solar panels. So it's better to have more power in the solar panels and less power in the battery. So what we're trying to do is get you a budget. We're trying to get you something so that it will at least make bread even on a cloudy day. And then most of the rest of the time it'll do really, really powerful. And that's what this is. So with this particular setup, like we're offering, you're going to have 4 220-watt solar panels. That's pretty powerful. So that means it's going to charge your battery during the day, but as it's charging, you can still make bread, run your computer, your cell phones, and a refrigerator. This will run a refrigerator unless you get a cloudy day. It's powerful enough, and probably your refrigerator can go a couple hours with no electricity. I haven't been able to test that yet. I did try to see if it would go 24 hours, and no, it won't. But this is a nice little unit. I've had it now for a couple of weeks, and I really like it. So here's the bottom line. On a sunny day, it'll make 3 loaves of bread, run your fridge, your computer, your phones. On a partly cloudy day, it'll do about half that. But on a cloudy day, all of them, they're all like that. Okay, if you have clouds, you don't have any power. And it's partly cloudy is partly power. So what we suggest, and yes, we're going to have a more powerful unit here in a couple of weeks. But understand, it's going to be over twice the price. So if you're looking for something to what I think will do the job, to make bread, and to keep you up and going, to, how do I say this? For the best bang for the buck, this is what I think it is. Now, yes, I'm looking forward to the more powerful unit, and it has not actually arrived. We have actually paid money for it and ordered it, and it's on the way. And as soon as I test it, I'll let you know about that. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be over twice the price. So unless you want to spend twice the price, this is probably the unit that you really want to get right here. 4 220-watt solar panels, and you can use this to make bread. Delicious, homemade, healthy, nutritious, homemade bread. And these are loaves that I've actually made, and I've actually cooked and eaten and cut and everything. You get them at josephskitchen.com. Right down here is where you go to order this solar generator. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend.